Hello and welcome back to the Property Pilot. So today we're going to find out how to find properties not on Rightmove. Okay, so welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to find properties not on Rightmove, not on Zoopla, and not on traditional online portals. So I've got 10 different ways how we can find these properties. And before I talk about these 10 different ways, the really important point to note here is the reason why we do this is because typically there's less competition. So, would you rather be fighting with everyone else on Rightmove to secure a property, or would you rather be the only person or maybe a handful of people fighting for that opportunity? And that's why we want to find properties that aren't on the major portals. Okay, so number one is Facebook Marketplace. Yes, believe it or not, people list their properties for sale and to rent on Facebook Marketplace. So what you could simply do is set up a radius on Facebook Marketplace. So wherever your target location is, you can set up a 50-kilometer radius or whatever that may be. And every day you can find new properties that are added on Facebook Marketplace, either for sale or for rent. And the great thing about this is you can speak directly with the vendor themselves. Now, of course, you need to do a check-in to make sure they actually own the property and they have authorization to actually sell the property to you. There are a lot of scams on Facebook Marketplace, especially on the rental side, with people taking people's deposits and then going off into the distance. So nevertheless, Facebook Marketplace is a really good place to pick up properties. You're not going to find them too often, and sometimes you'll find that the vendors are actually just copying and pasting the agent's advert from Rightmove onto Facebook to try and generate more interest. But sometimes you'll find those golden nuggets where vendors don't want to deal with estate agents. They want to save that money, or they think they can do a better job, and they'll put that directly on Facebook Marketplace. So don't forget to check that out. Number two, a similar way, is Gumtree. Gumtree is a website where people list things for sale. And again, similar to Facebook Marketplace, vendors list their properties for sale on Gumtree. And it's a great way, again, to get direct to vendor. You're speaking directly to them. You're not going via an agent. So you can put in maybe a better offer and save some money on their side from their agent fees. Now with Gumtree, the way I think it slightly differs from Facebook Marketplace is you probably get a different quality of property for sale on Gumtree. I mean, both Gumtree and Facebook, they're free to advertise at the moment. So therefore, there's no loss that a vendor incurs by putting a property for sale on Facebook or Gumtree. So as a result, sometimes you typically don't get the nicest level of property, but if you can get that property for, say 70, 80 or even 90% of that market's value, well, you've done pretty well there. Okay, the third way you can actually find properties is via open rent. And I can speak from experience here, being the vendor side. So I list my properties to rent on open rent, and I strongly recommend that you do so if you have a portfolio of rentals that you manage yourself, because it's a really good website. It's a great software. They've got lots of great tenants looking for properties. However, what I often get messages, every couple of days from people that, they've seen my property to rent and either they want to buy it or maybe they want to let it off me, but on a long-term corporate let. Now, for those that are just getting into the industry, maybe thinking about rent-to-rents, this could be a way of actually speaking to landlords and trying to actually find those landlords willing to, undergo, maybe a 5-year corporate contract, and I've spoken about this in a previous video where you maybe offer slightly less than market rent to them. However, irregardless of voids, they're getting paid every single month. Now, when it comes to actually finding a property for purchase and open rent, that's a bit different. But once you've actually had that initial consultation or initial conversation rather with the landlord from open rent, you could see if they're open to selling, and you never know what's going to happen, especially if you maintain that relationship and keep touching base with them. Okay, number four, really good way is by sending letters to vendors. So you can go to Land Registry, you can find out their name, and you can find out their address if they live in a separate property, and you can write the vendor a letter and say, something like, I got your details from Land Registry, I'm looking to actively buy properties in the area. Are you considering selling? If so, feel free to reach out to me. Something as simple as that. Now, this method is a great method. It doesn't cost you that much, a couple of pounds per letter once you've figured out, once you've factored in the, the letters, the stamps, the printing, etc. And this is a very easy strategy that you can scale quite quickly. So at first you could start by just sending maybe 10 or 20 letters per day, but you could easily scale that to double or triple that. The fifth strategy to find properties not on Rightmove or Zoopla is actually just direct via estate agents, and I've done this several times before. Once agents get to know you, they trust you, they like you, and they know that you commit to your word, and once you put an offer in, you have a higher chance of securing that deal. Well, when they get their next listing, they're not going to put it on Rightmove or Zoopla straight away. They'll pick up the call, hey Marco, we've got this coming up, we're looking for this, what, for X, Y, and Z. What do you think, can you come to that level? Because think about it on their point of view. If they put it on Rightmove and Zoopla, that takes time to do, and they want to sell this property with the least possible time as possible. But also, think of the cost as well. Sometimes agents operate on a variable cost model, so actually to list that property will actually cost them money. So if they can save that cost and go directly to someone dealt with before, someone they know, they like, and they trust, well, why wouldn't they? And I've acquired several properties over the past years doing this. I've got an agent that calls me straight away. She knows exactly what I'm looking for in what areas and what price points, and she gives me a call. I can say yes or no. I can view at the property that same day, and we can reach an agreement as soon as possible. Number 6, how to find properties that are not on Rightmove or Zoopla is actually through your network and networking. So every time you're out and about, tell people what you do, tell people what you're looking for. I always tell people what I'm looking for, and I'll tell you right now, I'm looking for blocks of flats, 20 units plus. I'm looking for land without any planning permission that I can potentially develop, and I'm looking for portfolios or part portfolios landlords looking to sell. That's really what I'm looking for. Now, every time you speak to someone, you should be telling them what you're looking for, and fast forward a year, 2 down the line, you may be speaking about this on a daily basis. Well, how many leads are you going to be generating? It may only be 1 or 2 per month, but it's better than nothing. One of those leads may result in a purchase. So, in your network, always talk about what you're doing, but then you can go one step further by networking and meeting new people, and creating new relationships and telling them what you're looking for, but also looking out for them. What are they looking for? And make sure once you come across that, you can refer that on to them. Okay, number 7, how can we find properties not on Rightmove or Zoopla? By advertising. A couple of these ways I've already mentioned are kind of indirectly advertising anyway. But you could advertise on Facebook. You can put some ads on Facebook that you're looking to buy properties. I personally don't do this, but when I scroll on my newsfeed, I see endless people that are advertising that we buy properties in any condition, blah blah blah. You could do something similar. You could advertise on Google using pay-per-click and drive traffic to your website for people that are potentially looking to sell their property. Maybe they don't want to go through an agent. So there are other more direct advertising ways to actually generate interest. Again, the old school thing, you could put an advert in a newspaper or a local magazine, something like that, saying that you're looking to buy or actively looking to buy property. Number 8, work with property sources. So again, rather than going directly on the portals where everyone is competing and it's very, very difficult to get a good deal, actually work with a select number of sources, because these sources, if they can actually negotiate the deal for you, all the hard work is done. Okay, you're going to have to pay them a small fee for it, but this fee is definitely worth paying for. If they can save you, say, £20,000 off the purchase price, and it only costs you £2,000 to actually do that, well, you've saved yourself £18,000 right there. So consider working with sources. I've worked with sources in the past, and I love it. It saves me a lot of time, and I get so much value from them. Okay, number 9, have a look on the planning portals. So again, this all depends what your strategy is. You may be looking to acquire land with planning permission, so you can develop and build that property yourself. Well, in which case, you don't need to have a look on Rightmove or Zoopla. You can go to the planning portal, you can see all those applications that have been accepted in the past week, and again, you can contact them. You can either write a letter, or if they're, if they've actually got a physical office, go pop along and introduce yourself and see if they're open to selling their land to you. Again, there are lots of other strategies around land. You could actually maybe be targeting land that didn't get planning permission. The planning permission was refused. However, your knowledge of planning is great, and maybe you think you can turn this around and you can get a really good deal, because obviously the vendor's not very happy because they've had the planning refused. So consider using planning portals to source properties and land. Last tip is buy at auctions. Now, some auctions don't list their properties on Rightmove and Zoopla, especially the smaller ones, that maybe don't have too many lots and operate in a very niche, small area, and they won't be putting their properties on Rightmove or Zoopla. Furthermore, the late entries into the auction, if a property comes in 2 or 3 days before the auction actually kickstarts, are they going to have time to put it on Rightmove or Zoopla? I don't know, I'm not too sure about that. So, find out who all the auction houses are in your local area, subscribe to their mailing list, and diarise their auctions in your diary. So, every single month or every 2 months, whenever that auction is, watch the auction. I picked up some really good deals post-auction. Look for the stuff that doesn't sell that I think, maybe, I'm willing to take a punt on this, or in fact, this is a really good deal, and you can come in at an even lower offer than the guide price. And I've had great success doing that in the summer, and I'll release another video about the success and how I actually did that. So, to recap, in order of what I've presented today, here are 10 ways how to find property not on traditional portals like Rightmove or Zoopla. So, number Number 1, Facebook Marketplace. Number 2, Gumtree. Number 3, Open Rents. Number 4, by sending letters directly to the vendors. Number 5, by getting them from agents. Number 6, by using your network and actually networking to meet new people too. Number 7, by advertising and spending money to generate those leads. Number 8, by working with property sources. Number 9, by looking at planning portals and, embarking on certain strategies. And lastly, consider buying at auction. So I hope this video has provided value today. It's taken me a bit of time to actually research to carry out this video, and I really appreciate any feedback or comments in the area below. And for those of you that haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel and encourages me to keep promoting these videos that hopefully you're getting some value from. I've also got a special announcement that I'm going to make very shortly. I'll be giving away a flight experience once we've hit a certain number of subscribers, and that'll be announced very shortly in some upcoming videos. So again, thanks very much for your time and enjoy your day.